Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. We are surrounded by books. That means we either have a book haul or a book recommendation. Today we have a book recommendation video. So it's a combination of some Black romances. We're doing romances for, February because Valentine's Day happened, and then Black romances because it's Black History Month. So these are some Black romances that were between 4 stars and 5-star ratings that I really enjoyed, and I think you'll enjoy. And I have some of these have been shown on my channel in like hauls, but never the recommendation. So that's what we're gonna do. So first, we're going to start with Between Love and Loathing by Shain. Hopefully I said that right. This is part of a series. This is book 2 in the series. This is personally my favorite in the series. I have physical copies of books 2 and 3. I have book 1 on the Kindle app. I do plan to eventually get a physical copy, but I'm not in a rush to do so because it was good, but it wasn't my favorite. This one was my favorite. It's my all-time favorite in the series right now. There's still one more book that I have not read in the series that I plan to, but I enjoyed it. It's like a billionaire brothers series. Every brother gets their own book. And the brothers also have sisters, and the sisters have their own books in a different series. I have said this before, but I don't think you necessarily have to read which series first to understand. I think it'll be fine, because the sisters series is more of like a mafia romance, whereas the brother series is like a billionaire romance. So kind of just depends on your interest, but you should be fine. Fake dating my enemy so I can design my dream bakery should be easy, as long as I don't fall in love with him. Dominic Hardy might be an award-winning architectural engineer with fancy degrees and considerable accolades, but he doesn't know a thing about baking. He probably doesn't even like sugar. So when my late stepfather's will states that Dominic Hardy is set to inherit the Pacific Coast Resort, he painstakingly designed as long as my bakery can be plopped in the middle of it. It's no surprise he balks. Yet my jaw drops when the will further requires us to mutually approve plans for my bakery's design. His stuffy taste will never mix with my whimsical vibe. But then Dominic comes to me with a proposal I can't refuse. He'll give me everything I want in my bakery as long as I agree to one thing. Fake date him for 5 months. Keep his ex away by pretending we're in love. Smile and stare into his piercing green eyes at a gala or two. Maybe share a kiss, nothing extreme. 5 months of acting in love when I really loathe him and his filthy mouth, even when he's using it on me. This should be a cakewalk, except there's a fine line between love and loathing, and I think I've made the colossal mistake of blurring it. So she has a iffy relationship with her father. That's where we're gonna start. And so because of that, Dominic has some prejudgments of her from seeing like that estranged relationship, because he was really close with her father, as were, his brothers and everything. So in the will, there were some stipulations. Obviously, she can get this bakery, move elsewhere, new life, but her and Dominic have to work together. Dominic doesn't want to work with her because, again, he has these prejudgments of her. She is feeling mixed emotions because she wants something for herself, but now she knows that there's stipulations with Dominic to make that happen. But she also has the mother and sister. With the mother and sister, it low-key gives Cinderella. She's definitely like a Cinderella vibe. It's not a Cinderella retelling, but it has some aspects of that based on how her mother and her sister treat her. We don't like them. Terrible people. And all while she's dealing with her mother, her sister, Dominic, she's also dealing with some personal demons, and she has some battles that she's kind of keeping silently because she just wants to be treated as a normal person and not have other people like think less of her because of this. So she's trying to deal with all of that. It's getting to be too much, but at the same time, she's still striving to want something for herself. Now, as all of this is going on, Dominic's ex is trying to come back to him, dropping these little hints, whatever. Dominic does not want her. So he comes up with this idea, fake date, 5 months, to get his ex-girlfriend off his back, and that'll be fine. But she also comes up with the idea of, now that I'm fake dating you, I get 5 changes to my restaurant, whatever I want. 5 months, 5 changes. So this is when she's starting to put her foot down a bit, because earlier on in the process of designing her bakery, Dominic kind of just steamrolled all over her and she really didn't get a say. So with this new agreement, she's at least able to make 5 changes. And he really kind of has to say yes to them because she is fake dating him. Now, obviously with fake dating comes real feelings. That's why I do enjoy the fake dating trope, because there's always real feelings behind it. So as they're spending this time together, they're both getting to know each other on a different level than they did before. And Dominic starts to realize that some of the previous thoughts he had about her before getting to know her were wrong, and he should have taken the time to get to know her. And it's the same for her as well. They got off to a rocky start, so she kind of just started distancing herself from him, but she realized she did in fact have to work with him, so she might as well get to know him at least so they could be cordial. And then obviously they became more than cordial. So there we have it. I literally really enjoyed this one. I heard the 4th one is also really good, so I'm tempted to see if it's going to top it, because the 3rd book did not top it. So we'll see, but definitely my favorite in the series. I would still say like read the series, all of the books in order, because they are all good. This one just happens to be the best in my opinion. And I had a total of 407 pages. So next we have By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. I love this book. This is my favorite Jasmine Guillory book. If you can't tell by the cover and the title, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, it's part of a series, a meant to be novel. In this series, though, they're all written by different authors, and then they're all inspired by different Disney princess stories. So you don't necessarily have to read these in any particular order, because they're not interconnected. And when I bought this one, I didn't know it was a series until after the fact. And I've read 2. I've read this one, the Beauty and the Beast inspired one, and then I read the Little Mermaid inspired one. Love them. I do plan on reading the rest. The first one is a Cinderella retelling. The 3rd one is a Rapunzel retelling, and the 4th one is a Mulan retelling. I don't think the 4th one is out yet though. And I don't know if it's gonna stop there. But so good. This may have been like the 2nd book I read by Jasmine, but it's by far my favorite. None of the other books I've read by her have topped this one yet, and it might be because like Belle is one of my top 5 Disney princesses, so like I love a good Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this one was just so well done. And honestly, it's short, so it was not super fast paced, but like it kept me engaged, so I wanted to finish it. So good. And then there's a character in here called Michaela, spelled the same way as me, and she's a good character. We love her. Just, yeah, this ticked all the boxes. Sometimes to truly know a person, you have to read between the lines. Isabel is completely lost. When she first began her career in publishing after college, she did not expect to be 25, still living at home, and one of the few Black employees at her publishing house. Overworked and underpaid, constantly torn between speaking up or stifling herself, Izzy thinks there must be more to this publishing life. So when she overhears her boss complaining about a beastly, high-profile author who has failed to deliver his long-awaited manuscript, Isabel sees an opportunity to prove her worth and finally get the recognition she deserves. All she has to do is go to the author's Santa Barbara mansion and give him a pep talk, or 3. How hard could it be? But Izzy quickly finds out she is in over her head. Bo Towers is not some celebrity lightweight writing a tell-all memoir. He is a jaded and withdrawn and, as it turns out, just as lonely as Izzy. But despite his standoffishness, Izzy needs Bo to deliver, and with her encouragement, his story begins to spill on the page. They soon discover that they have more in common than either of them expected, and as their deadline nears, Izzy and Bo begin to realize there may be something there that wasn't there before. Best-selling author Jasmine Guillory's achingly romantic reimagining of a classic is a tale as old as time for a new generation. So Izzy overhears her boss, and essentially she's like, I can do this, because she does want to take on more so she can get recognized and can essentially get promoted, because she wants to do more than just publishing. But to work in the publishing company helps her for what she wants to do in her future. And boss is like, sure, if you can get Bo to give us the story, I'll help you out. So Izzy's going there with intention. Like, she has stuff she's trying to get done and she needs Bo to cooperate. She first gets there and he's kind of like standoffish, obviously, like in Beauty and the Beast. He's not trying to be bothered. And Bo has that like same mentality. He does want to be left alone. But then he kind of starts interacting more with Izzy, and that kind of inspires him to start writing more. So he basically comes to her like, I want you to stay here with me in Santa Barbara. We'll do it. It's kind of like tutoring sessions per se, and to help him get inspired to write. And so that's how she ends up staying with him. Obviously, Beauty and the Beast, staying in the castle for a time period. So during this time that they're staying together and Izzy is trying to help Bo finish the story, Izzy's also working on some personal things that she would like to accomplish. Kind of like moving up in the publishing company and things to further her career that she's working on. But also, as they start to do these little sessions, Bo opens up a little bit more and Izzy gets to see a different side to him. And as he's also slowly letting his walls down, he gets to know Izzy and he starts to like Izzy. Obviously, they're spending all this time together. Feelings start to stir, but at the same time, they're still on a deadline. Like Izzy's job essentially is on the line if she does not deliver Bo's story like she said that she could. So while she's also enjoying this time of some personal growth for herself and, going down this path to potentially having a relationship, she also wants to further herself in her job. Like, her job is coming first and everything else is coming a bit second. And Bo is also, while like meeting Izzy and trying to write his story, he's learning more about himself and he's growing as a person. And they have like small challenges that they go through, but obviously nothing too serious because the book, again, is quick. But thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. It made some other references to the Beauty and the Beast movie that I thought were pretty clever and cute. And all in all, it was like a great romance. No complaints. And I would say this is also my favorite in the series so far. Again, I've only read 2, but the Little Mermaid retelling is definitely a close second, but loved it. It's great, a quick read, and again, I think it's Jasmine's best I've read a few of her books, but this one's my favorite. And it has a total of 313 pages. Moving on, we have The Sweetest Remedy by Shain Igharo. So this is actually my second book by her. I've shown the other one on my channel before, I'm pretty sure. But she writes a lot of Nigerian romances, at least the one I've shown and this one. They've both been like based in Nigeria or have like some type of factor of going back to Nigeria. And they talk about like Yoruba culture and all of that, and I really love that. I think that's cool. I've read like a few different books where they talk about like Yoruba culture and go into that, and she ties it in with a romance factor, which I love. And although I think the first Jane book that I've read is still my favorite, this one's a really close second. Like I really enjoyed this one. This was another one that was like pretty fast paced for me, not like too fast to where you can't keep up, but fast to where you are engaged and you want to keep reading. It's like, as you can see. Okay. When a woman travels to Nigeria to attend the funeral of the father she never knew, she meets her extravagant family. For the first time, finds a new and inspiring love interest, and discovers parts of herself she didn't know were missing. Hannah Bailey has never known her father, the Nigerian entrepreneur who had a brief relationship with her white mother. Because of this, Hannah has always felt uncertain about that part of her identity. When her father dies, she is invited to Nigeria for the funeral. Though she wants to hate the man who abandoned her, she's curious about who he was and where he was from. Searching for answers, Hannah boards the plane to Lagos, Nigeria. In Banana Island, one of Nigeria's most affluent areas, Hannah meets the Jolades, her late father's prestigious family. Some who accept her, and some who think she doesn't belong. The days leading up to the funeral are chaotic, but Hannah is soon shaped by secrets that unfold, a culture that she never thought she would understand or appreciate, and a man who steals her heart and helps her to see herself in a new light. So y'all, I love Lawrence. Lawrence is the male main character. He's just chef's kiss. So Lawrence and Hannah actually meet before she goes to Nigeria, which I love. They meet, and what was it? I think San Francisco, at some type of like party or whatever she was at with her friend, and she ends up having a conversation with him, and then he gets a phone call and he has to go. Very brief interaction, but they remembered each other. So her mother ends up informing her that her father has passed. She's only met her father one other time. That's it. So she's kind of iffy about it at first, of like going to his funeral when she didn't really know him, meeting her other family that she doesn't really know, and she knew that he had like other kids and whatnot, because there was a time period where she was looking him up to see what he looked like, see what her siblings look like. So she knows of them, but they don't know of her. So she ultimately decides, you know, after like talking with her mom, talking with one of her friends, she's gonna go to Nigeria, because although she didn't have a relationship with her father, she's always wanted to have that relationship with her Yoruba culture that her mom unfortunately couldn't really give to her. So this is a chance for her to learn that by going to Nigeria and meeting her other family. She gets there, they go to the house. All of the people, the siblings, his wife, like the grandma, they're all there, and everyone's like, who's this girl? It was the father's friend, Dio, like brought her and introduced her. And that's when he made the announcement that your father, you know, you remember when your father used to travel abroad? Well, while he was abroad, he had a child. This is said child, Hannah, and it's definitely an icy interaction from the start. And so Hannah's already having second thoughts about coming, because while some of The family members are open to getting to know her and like introducing her to this culture. Others are not. They don't believe their father would do this. They think this is a joke, whatever. But also, while all of these people are doing that, Lawrence is there because Lawrence happens to be best friends with one of Hannah's siblings. I love that twist. I love that. So she has some challenges to face, but she does have Lawrence, and Lawrence remembers her and she remembers Lawrence. So Lawrence kind of becomes a person that she goes to. They talk about some things because while Lawrence is also best friends with one of Hannah's siblings, he was also taken in by Hannah's father because he lost his mother at a young age. So Hannah does have feelings for him, but at the start she kind of has like a little resentment because she feels that her father was able to take in a child that wasn't his and he couldn't take care of her. So it's a lot of growth and learning. She grows as a person. She learns about herself. Her relationship with Lawrence grows. And there are also some family secrets that were kept from both sides, like Hannah and her mom, and then like her father's other kids and like his wife, sister, and so forth. So a lot of family secrets come out that cause some drama. And I love that because it just made the story juicy and it gives you different perspectives. So although Hannah is our female main character, you do get the point of view from Hannah, from the other siblings, from Lawrence, and I enjoyed that because while learning their point of views, you start seeing things differently. Yes, you know, Hannah is our main focus, but Hannah's story also intertwines with all of their stories. So this one was really good. Another quick read. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I would love to read more of Jane's work because I feel like every time I read one of her books, it's a good time. Like, I've always enjoyed myself and found myself like wanting more. This book had a total of 296 pages. Another banger. So now we're moving on to our last book. We have Honey and Spice by Bolu, Babalola. This was another one. So good. It just radiated happiness, positivity, love, growth. Yes. It's a yes from me. And this one also comes in different like covers. One that actually shows the couple, but I think this one's a little bit better because this is our main character and I feel like she deserves the spotlight. You have to read the story, but also this is one of the thickest. It's the one of the thickest in this hauls, not haul, in this recommendation for the romance books, but it's also still fairly quick. I do think like once you get into things, again, you like keep wanting to read, so it doesn't seem like it's dragged out. Okay. Sharp-tongued and secretly soft-hearted Kiki Banjo has just made a huge mistake. As an expert in relationship evasion and a host of a popular student radio show, Brown Sugar, she's made it her mission to make sure the women of the African Caribbean Society at Whitewell College in Southern England do not fall into the mess of situationships, players, and heartbreak. But when the queen of unbothered kisses, Malachi Coreed, I don't know if I said that right, the guy she just publicly denounced as the wasteman of white male in front of the Blackwellian on campus, she finds her show on the brink. They're soon embroiled in a fake relationship to try and salvage their reputations and save their futures. Kiki has never surrendered her heart before, and a player like Malachi won't be the one to change that, no matter how charming he is or how electric their connection feels. But surprisingly entertaining study sessions and intimate late-night talks at old-fashioned diners force Kiki to look beyond her own presumptions. Is she ready to open herself up to something deeper? A gloriously funny and sparkling debut novel, Honey and Spice is full of delicious tension and romantic intrigue that will make you weak at the knees. Okay, so Kiki, you know, is talking on the show, and it usually gets like a lot of attention. She says this about Malachi, and things go a little sideways. One, because Malachi is like pretty popular. A lot of people know him, love him, so forth. So in doing this, she kind of tarnishes herself just a little bit because she's dissing Malachi and people think so highly of him. But along with dissing Malachi, people are starting to second guess him. So now his, what's the word I'm looking for? His like reputation is a bit on the line, and now her show is on the line because now people are kind of talking about her, like, why would she say this? Why would she do this? Viewership is down and so forth. So the plan comes that what if they fake date? This will boost Malachi's reputation, and this will also boost things for Kiki, because then people will see that Kiki is, you know, giving Malachi a chance and whatnot. But again, Kiki, like, she's not really trying to do relationships. She's focusing on her education. She's worrying about a man later. Like, not even. She wants to do things for herself first, which is why she kind of has this talk show to kind of let people know, just, you know, be empowered. You don't have to have a man, like, and that's what she wants to come across. So that's why people also kind of started dissing her a bit, because they're like, how are you even talking about this when you've never been in a relationship? So obviously, again, with fake dating comes real feelings, but they don't like each other at the start. It's not so much enemies to lovers, more kind of like dislike to lovers, just kind of based off of having assumptions about each other before knowing each other. They didn't like each other, and as the fake dating went along, they started having real conversations, like the diner that kind of became a spot of theirs, and they would get to know each other more on a personal level. But at the same time, Kiki has never been in a relationship, and although she's kind of liking how things are going with Malachi, she still has other things on her mind. She's trying to focus. She also has things she's dealing with at home, you know, personal stuff that she's dealing with that is at the forefront of her mind, and a relationship is at the back of it. And then Malachi, who I would say Malachi prior to Kiki has never been in like a serious relationship either. I feel like he's been in more like flings and like hookup type situations. So this is also new for him, and he's trying to figure out his way, like what to say, what to do, how to navigate this, but also come across that he actually likes Kiki and he would like to pursue some stuff with her, and not to believe this like playboy attitude that he doesn't really have that she assumed he had. So a lot of growth between the two of them. It was such like a sweet romance, especially reading how they get to know each other on a deeper level and putting aside the assumptions that they had for each other. So cute. It's beautiful. I love it. It was swoon worthy. I will say you will like swoon reading this book. It's just adorable. And love Kiki. She is such strong female. You have to read it, but there's like a lot she deals with, and she still is pushing through. So I loved it. It was beautiful. I would love to read more by Bolu as well, because this one was definitely up there, like 10 out of 10. So this one had a total of 358 pages. So that was my last book for our little book recommendation this time around. Hopefully y'all give these a chance. I mean, you don't have to read these books just in February. You can read them outside of February. All really good. Thoroughly enjoyed them. Again, as I said, these were all like 4-star and 5-star reads. So I really enjoyed them, and they've been shown on my channel before. And if they've been shown on my channel before, you know that means I like them. So hopefully you enjoy this video, give them a read, check it out. Also give me some recommendations of yours in the comments, and I will see y'all in the next video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, please hit the subscribe button down below. Peace and blessings, my loves.